It's live on Thursday night. The Vols have about 3 minutes left to go in the game, so we're kind of distracted a little bit. But I've got my good friend Jeff Cole, the county clerk, here to talk about all of the overhauls in the licensing business. So we're excited tonight to find out. Jeff has been our county clerk since 2002?
2002, yes.
So that's 20 years as of this year.
Right. Worked 10 years prior
Obviously,
to.
we ain't got any term limits.
As deputy clerk. As deputy clerk. Term limits, when you're doing a good job, we don't need term limits.
I heard the people are your term limits. That's right.
I take a test every 4 years.
Shelton went in 06, right?
No, he went in with me.
02. So
he went in with me in 2.
He went in 2. So Tim Shelton, our Register of Deeds, went in 2. Two of you are recognized as two of the best in the state. I mean, you've been awarded, you've gotten appreciated. But tonight we're going to talk about what's going on in the license plate. A lot of changes. We thank Brian Hunt, our sponsor, the juvenile judge of Anderson County. Thank you, Brian, for helping us. Thank Roger Miller, our sessions judge. I call him the hardest working judge in Anderson County.
I understand.
And we've got our good friend Ryan Spitzer, who is the top judge, circuit judge. He's the highest of all, isn't he?
He's the
Don
judge.
Elledge, Buddy Scott, we go way back, but now it's Ryan Spitzer.
He's a very likable guy. You go see Ryan.
That's right.
Big trouble. Big trouble.
Ryan's for the big trouble, guys. He's keeping our place safe.
Yeah,
That's
big
exactly
trouble.
right. So, Jeff, tell us a little about growing up. Tell us about yourself. You're up in Clinton.
Right. I'm originally from Clinton. I'm a native there. I graduated in '86 from Clinton High School.
Okay.
And I
makes you younger than Rex.
Yes.
Okay. And younger than Shelton.
He's about 6 weeks older than me. So yes,
okay.
we're
so he's
we're
been
right.
a leader
yeah,
for you. I guess
exactly.
Right.
I graduated Rome State with an associate's degree, and then I transferred to Carson Newman.
I remember you had a degree from Carson.
I majored in business management up there. And
not to make a point, but Shelton went to Carson Newman too.
We did. We commuted together. I kidded him in 2002 that he stole a lot of my votes, because when my mom would call, they would say, "Yeah, we're going to vote for that Mr. Shelton," and she said, "Well, that's okay, but you need to vote for Mr. Coe too, my son," because we had the same 10 years working in the courthouse and the same college, and I minored in religion. And then I started to work. I graduated on a Friday night, and I started that Monday morning down here in Grove Center.
Wow.
So I
worked for Jack King?
I worked for Jack.
When did Jack get elected?
Jack got, Mr. Caldwell had a stroke, so he had
Ken Caldwell.
Ken Caldwell. He
was a sheriff before
He
that.
was sheriff before. Everybody remember Ken, and he had to retire, and Jack got appointed in about 88, 89. And
that would be why you were at college.
Right.
Okay.
And then
so you graduated from Carson Newman in 90?
In 91.
Okay.
But I started in 89 part-time at the clerk's office. I've been there. Yeah. And then Jack retired in 2002, and then that's when I won. So, but I started down here basically in Oak Ridge. I worked down here 5 or 6 years.
Grove Center? And
right here, about 5 doors down.
Yeah,
and,
I know it well, yeah.
It wasn't Comcast then, but the cable TV was down here.
Jim Vines.
Jim Vines. Jim was here. Yeah. We had Peter Starr. Insurance was
here.
The
trophy guy was
Jim Aspinwall.
Jim
Aspinwall. And
didn't his wife work for you? Or work for another
She worked for Mr. Purdy hired her originally.
Yes.
And then she worked probably 2 or 3 more years when I got elected, then retired.
Okay. All right.
So, and Ruann was here from the TV repair shop. I remember Phillips
that,
on this.
Sure.
So we just, this is where I grew up.
The laundromat has survived.
Exactly. It has, yes.
The laundromat has survived. The Grove Center movie theater was still going.
The movie theater was here. So I just grew up down here. And my cousin and them, they lived across the road here in Highland View. So I grew up down here. I was, in the summertime, we'd always come down and play basketball.
Where in Clinton did you live growing up?
I lived mainly down there, right across about 2 streets over from Food City on Riverbend. There is where I grew up at.
From Food City on Riverbend, okay.
Yeah, you go up the hill there, and then you've got Greenwood and Riverside, and then Riverbend. So we were about 2 or 3 streets.
And what is the road called that goes down by the Kincaid House and all the houses?
That's Eagle Bend.
Eagle Bend, I get confused.
Yeah,
okay. Riverbend's the long road.
Yeah, this is just, it's about 10 minutes from
Best
here.
door knocking neighborhood in America.
It did. I've done a lot right there, yeah.
If you got nothing, but if you only have 10 hours to door knock in a given month, you need to go to Riverbend first.
That is.
Because you can, everybody votes, and it's a great community.
It's
great community.
It is very good.
I'm trying to think of all the people down there. So, okay, so you got out, you did all of that, you came back. How's it changed? And let's see, what we got now? 20 years. What has it changed? How's it changed?
I did a little interview yesterday with Jim Harris on Wish Radio. I was talking about plates up there too. I really told him probably the most important thing I think to the clerk's office, especially here in Anderson County, has been the technology.
I think so. All offices.
Yeah. When I first got elected, there was 6 websites throughout the state in the clerk's office. I was number 7.
Right.
And, all that was new. Nobody, that was when the internet was kind of, had already was here, obviously, but a lot of governments didn't focus in on the website issue. And we come in and establish that. We put all of our services online now.
Yes.
The courthouse, and for New Year's Day, we're closed tomorrow, but even as we speak, you can go online right now, renew your tag, get a marriage application, any form, hours, anything that you need now is on your phone.
I'm old school, and I always go down to see, Angie and see in the Oak Ridge satellite office. And but yeah, they do. They can. Yeah. And it's amazing how the number of services that have expanded.
Well,
it wasn't, you think of it as a license plate, and now you've got so many things. You're marrying people.
I wanted to, like I said, Mr. Purdy back in the 50s, back then you had to go to Nashville and get a private act pass to get the Oak Ridge office.
Right.
Because there was not a lot of satellite offices throughout the state back then, even in Knoxville. And
so that came when John was still in office?
Yeah, that was back in the 50s. That was back in the 50s. And then, and because, that was during the heyday, when everything was rocking and rolling.
Oak Ridge carried a lot more political power in those days.
55%
of the vote.
Exactly. It was huge. I mean, the population was huge down here.
It was the same. The county's double the size it was 40 years ago, and Oak Ridge is the same.
Right, exactly.
That's the way it
So he had to go down there and do that, and then, that just spurred on the technology. And then we had the platforms in place to be able to touch our office 24/7. But really when it hit home was when COVID hit, because more people wanted to do stuff online, curbside. We got the kiosk down here about 2 years ago. I didn't get it because of COVID. I got it, and about 6 weeks later, COVID hit. So now you can, after hours, you can do it during hours, but you can use our kiosk now. So those are the things that, I had that experience of working there. Mm-hmm. I knew what worked and what needed to be tweaked, and that's what we've done over these last 10
Did your employees ever work from home?
No.
You kept them.
The governor made us essential, and we did a lot of curbside.
That's all right.
And we ran a lot of it through the drive-throughs those first 6-7 weeks when it got real bad there. But that was just part of it. But my staff, I can't brag on them enough, because I mean you've dealt with them. I mean you've dealt with everybody at the courthouse, but they're all great people there, and we just had to adapt. We just had to learn on the cuff and get it.
So how did the percentages shift during COVID? I mean, like, how many people, was there double the amount of registrations, or did you get a feel for how it changed?
We've had this, our year is from July 1 to June 30th, and we're halfway into the new year. But last year we set a record in fees. We went over $1 million in excess fees, and it was just huge. We see about 100.
Why did that happen?
I really think it was a lot of the COVID money. People were buying cars, even though they were hard to find, but they were buying boats, they were buying trailers.
You mean the stimulus money?
Yeah, the stimulus money. And I've talked to other clerks, and they had the same issues, that they were just out the door. We see over about 120,000 people a year. If you've got 2 cars, you're going to hit this office twice. Mm-hmm. If you got a boat,
I do them all.
You're right. So you're going
to. She has like a garage full of cars.
Well, she's the boss.
Yeah, she is the boss. So we go out and register. So she'll say, go down and register all these right now. Yeah. She's very economical, that one.
So I think the stimulus money played a big part in it. But like I said, we never slowed down. Those weeks that we were just drive-through only, we were out in the parking lot. We were directing traffic, helping in the cars and stuff. But I just think people got a little bit of push of that stimulus money.
Reverting back in this first segment to personal stuff, tell me, you've been a Sunday school teacher.
Mm-hmm. Teach Sunday school.
Second Baptist for a long time.
I have, yeah.
How long?
About 10 years, I guess. I was a Sunday school teacher at my prior church. like I said, that's probably one of the most fun things that I do. I really enjoy it. I do a little Wednesday night class too that I really enjoy.
Or something you
yeah, some adults that we do, and I really enjoy that. But like I said, I play a little basketball. I don't play as much as I used to, but I'm not as. I've had foot surgery. So
how's your son's golf swing? Your son's quite a golfer.
He's better than me. He made the Rome State golf team.
He was better than you at 12.
Well, that's probably true too. I can talk a good game though.
That's good. That's good.
But he's doing good. He's got a tournament here in the next few weeks, so he'll be playing in that.
And he plays for
Rome State.
Does he really?
Rome State, yes.
Do they practice over in the Rome County part of it?
A lot of it they do. They do the country club some. They do Rockwood Country Club. They do the Emory Country Club some there in Harriman. And
they have a home course?
Kind of the country club, kind of.
Oh, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Golf
I
is
grew up
different.
playing there, that's why I asked.
Golf is different. It's sort of like a year-round sport. They've took about 6 weeks off here with Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then they start up here in about 2 weeks. Wow. So they'll be back doing it and stuff.
They can play now. It's 70
degrees.
Yeah,
the weather out here
crazy.
is wild here the last few weeks.
It's crazy. I don't know. I think the COVID this year will be lighter. I think we know. So. When LeBron James puts up an Instagram that says it's just the flu, I know we've come all the way around.
Well, he ruffled some feathers with that.
Well, the Liberals got upset with him.
They did.
But then Tom Brady weighed in and agreed with him, so now they got both of them to shoot at, give him some cover and everything. I got it. But I think, my wife's the expert on that stuff, but I think if you look at the death rates and the hospitalizations, it seems to be this one's a little bit more tolerable. Because, I mean, we got to be fair to the all the people that have suffered, and we've had friends that have passed on in this thing. The Delta was a little bit more kicker. It was rough. Now we see cases going up. Yeah. They're going up about 70 or 80 a day in Anderson County, but I don't think the hospitalizations are tracking like that.
Right. That's what they're saying. Yeah.
So, but I think that may affect the year and what's going on. I think the biggest thing is we'll come back in a minute after we finish this part. We're going to talk about the services, because there's more services than people know about.
18 different services.
18 different services. Then we're going to get to license plates and the third part of it, et cetera, et cetera. Then we're going to talk about politics, because nobody loves politics. And your Cowboys. I'm just overwhelmed that your Cowboys have finally won the division.
Jim's a big Redskins fan. He asked me yesterday.
Jim
Harris at Wish Radio.
Right.
And he said, how far are they going? And I said, here's the crazy thing about it. With COVID, you just don't know.
That's correct. How many players?
Yeah, and that, And
they need COVID more than the other teams. That's my theory. They're not as good as everybody else. They don't want to go into Tampa Bay without some help.
I agree.
I think Green Bay's good.
You don't want to go to Green Bay.
It's still cold up there. It's the only Texas left. It's cold.
You don't want to go to Green Bay when it, You don't know the ice bowl from 67.
It can't be healthy. Let's take a break, and we'll come back in 2 or 3 minutes and talk some more, and we're going to get into services that our county clerk has. One of the best in the state.
Time resident of Anderson County who has served as Sessions Judge since 2014. Judge Miller has adjudicated more than 30,000 cases, both civil and criminal, over the past 7 years. Roger is a graduate of Clinton High School, and he volunteers time coaching youth sports and serving as an instructor. A paramedic for 12 years, Roger worked saving lives at the Anderson County EMS, MedFlight 5, and Methodist Medical Center. In 2022, let's re-elect Roger Miller, General Sessions Judge.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
DEPR.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or Adult Protective Services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
Ryan Spitzer has been a prosecutor in Anderson County since 2007, prosecuting more than 2,500 cases over the past decade. Ryan has been the Drug Task Force prosecutor for the past 7 years. Ryan donates time working with local nonprofits. A veteran, Ryan spent 6 years serving his country as an Army medic in the National Guard. Ryan is a family man who works hard every day to keep Anderson County families safe. Experience matters.
I'm back. We're sneaking peeks at the Tennessee game. 45-45 with a minute left. Looks like Tennessee's got the ball back, so we'll hold our breath on that one.
Wild game.
It is a good game. Tell us about the services. Go down the list with me.
Well, the ones that we do, obviously, the most of is registering your cars, renewing your DK.
That's the one with the $5 fee that got added to it a couple years ago?
Yes, that goes to roads. That wasn't us, but that
goes to roads? We need it.
Yeah, it goes to
I
roads.
called it the Jeff Cole fee for about 3 years.
No, it's not mine. No,
I know, it was your office. I was just joking.
I'll tell you a funny story if we've got time at the end about our decals. We do marriage licenses. We do notaries. We do passports, driver's licenses.
Let's go slow. Marriage licenses. Mm-hmm. So if I get married, when Sam and I got married, we had to come to you to get a marriage license. Right. No other office can we get a marriage license at. Right. Tell me what's required of a marriage license. Is there a DNA test?
No. They used to be blood tests years ago, and they quit doing that. Yeah. And Sevier County, Gatlinburg is kind of the hub. We don't do a lot of marriages like we used to because Gatlinburg now with the websites and all the technology out there, they offer packages. They offer your pictures, your food, your marriage, your ceremony. So we'll do roughly 600 to 700 a year.
That's good.
Where they're going to do 20 or 30,000. Because they're just. I get
a marriage license from you. How much do I pay?
They're $40 if you have counseling, and there's a $100 fee if you don't have counseling.
Folks, I've been in politics for a lot of years. That's a setup. I don't care what anybody says. It's good they're getting counseling, but why should I be required to? Who is a legitimate counselor that I get a $60 deduction?
They have to be certified. It'd be a preacher or a counselor. There's a state form that you have to.
Any religion?
Any religion, yeah. And it's a state form, and it's probably been in place 15, 20 years now.
Well, there's a lot of churches, including mine.
It's been a while.
I'm a Catholic, and back in the 80s, they started requiring couples to go to 4 to 5 to 6 meetings in groups before they would issue a marriage license. Yeah. So it's the same spirit of the thing, and I get that.
Yeah.
I just don't know if economically making it 100 or 40 based on counseling is the job of the government. Right. But I didn't know that, but that was good to know. Yeah. All right, so I got the marriage. Any restriction? What about the lady in Kentucky? She got in trouble. Now, the state allows issues for marriages for gender preferences.
Right.
Okay, so we're past that.
Yeah, that started, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I'm assuming.
Okay.
So
whatever meets the state, we won't get into it, but whatever meets the state's qualifications, your office will marry them.
Right.
Okay.
Right. We'll issue the license.
That's what I meant.
We do passports. That is something that really got hit hard with COVID.
Oh, sure.
Because we had to shut down for about almost a year because the federal offices. The driver's license and the passports are a contracted service, meaning we have to do what they say.
And you get a percentage.
Yeah, and we had to shut down because they were shut down. At one time, they had 2 million backlog.
Wow.
And they were about 20 weeks behind. Right. And now it's about 8 to 10 weeks, which, give or take. That's not a guarantee. That's just a promise. So we're back doing them by appointment onlys, and then we do the driver's license. I know Sabra mentioned during the break about the Real ID, which is the Gold Star, basically.
I have that.
And that's if you need to get into a federal building. Sure. Flying's coming that way.
I've used federal buildings, absolutely. And they treat you better. They say going through.
It is quicker. You get that. They have pushed that back now. The federal government's pushed that back to 2023. It was supposed to happen last year.
The key is flying.
Right. So you can get it now at our office, but you don't have to till 2023. So you've got about a year and a half to go.
And then what if you don't get it?
If you don't get it, you're not going to get to fly. So
That's
they
what I
say.
say.
So they say.
They always ask me, I show it to them. It gets you cool a little quicker.
Yeah, it does. It does. We do the
Now,
notary.
what is it? I filled the application out because Angie was nice enough to help me and your staff down in Oak Ridge. But it's a little more of a documentation. Like you have to send it to the state to get it approved.
Yes, you have to bring in for a male. You have to bring in your birth certificate, your Social Security card, and 2 proofs of mail.
That's right.
And then if you're a female, you have to bring, if you've been married, you have to get, the ladies have to bring in their marriage certificate, same thing, birth certificate, Social Security card, and two proofs of mail. So
What's
there's
the
a little
difference
bit.
in males and females? I didn't get the difference.
Well, the females' names usually change. So you have to, the state or the federal government wants to know that, Sabra's maiden name and now she's Beauchamp. So the marriage certificate links the name changes with that.
I got it.
So,
okay. I got it.
A fishing license, boating.
She's been Beauchamp quite a while now.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
That
was on the air. Go ahead.
The hunting and fishing licenses, the business tax,
There's almost a license for everything, isn't there?
just about.
Sabre owns a Razor, a four-wheeler that she bought, and we had to get that. Anything has a motor on it,
Anything, yes, anything.
right?
Just
I
like
have to ask you a question. She bought my son a scooter, like one of those little dirt bikes. Okay, and does she have? You have to have a license to take that dirt bike on a private road, or how's that work?
well, not on a private road. You don't have
Public
to get a
road,
road. Public road, it has to be roadworthy. Turn signals, lights, tail lights, things like that. There's a form that you sign.
That's like one of those little ones in the back of Walmart.
Yeah, I've seen them.
$500 dirt bike.
I
never
don't know.
made it there, and I'll tell you that.
I don't know how safe that is to but
It's not safe on private property either.
Yeah. So no, I'd say
I've
not.
seen crashes and wrecks and things of that.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, those are very scary.
I mean, when Sabre was trying it was a factory default to her, and she hit the bushes showing my son. But then it just launched her head into the brick wall. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It still hurts her to this day.
One thing that we also, that kind of gets forgotten is we are the official minutes keeper of County Commission.
I didn't forget it.
So, you've been in the office
I can
a lot.
pull those things a lot, yeah.
And basically, 5 or 6 years ago, we had an attorney in the office that needed some minutes from 1970. There was a lawsuit.
I got it.
And he needed the document because the county commission minutes, those are the voice of the county. So if
the voice of what happened.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So when we'll remember it tonight, but in five minutes from me or 5 days, we're going to forget, and we might need to go in. So those are important documents. Obviously, I have to keep a record of those where the public, and see, we've got those online now. That's just another, and that makes it nice. Where before you had to come and lug the books down.
And like we were saying, my wife's a charter commissioner, so she gets on there. She can do it all on laptop.
Exactly.
I can't do that. I don't have those kind of skills. But okay, well, what is the most controversial service that you provide? What do you have more problems with in customers, so they don't really understand what you're doing at home? How much is a passport?
Well, a passport, they just went up this week. If you can, and the day is Thursday.
Is that federal or
That's
state?
all federal.
Okay.
That's all federal. We got they went up Tuesday, and we got the email Tuesday morning. So that's your federal government for you. They went up to $135.
What is that? And how long does that last? 10 years?
10 years, yes.
Can I go anywhere in the world with it?
Yes.
That'll let me in?
As far as I know. Now with COVID and
I'm
stuff
only concerned with getting back.
Right, yeah. With COVID and now there's testing in some countries, and obviously we don't know that. Controversy, probably the one that itches a lot of people wrong, if I can say it that way, is sales tax. A lot of our surrounding states, they do ad valorem taxes. I don't know the current numbers, but a few years ago, to renew your tag in Georgia, I want to think it was $400 or $500 a year. But they don't have sales tax.
That's correct.
So, so there's trade-offs,
But you know what the truth is? People don't understand this, but when you go and buy a car, and let's say you buy a car officially for $6,000, and there's $360 in sales tax. People, 6%, I'm roughing it. It could be more than that.
There's local tax in
that
state.
But the bottom line is, that's right, but if it gets up to $420, whatever it is, you only get $35 of that. Is that correct? Local's limited, right?
The sales tax, yes, that goes upstairs. The actual clerk's fee is $2.50. Everything
but how much goes to sales tax revenue in the county? I thought it was limited to $35 or something.
I'm looking at percentage.
That's okay. What's the percent
I think it was. The percentage for locals 2.75.
There you go.
So it's less than 3%.
On a car, there's
on anything of it. Cars, boats, whatever.
So
none of that changes.
I thought cars had different regulations than selling a Coca-Cola or something.
Well, I don't know about that, but from our part it's 2.75 the local part of it, and that's
so when I buy a car from somebody and we write up the sales thing and we do it honestly and we put $1,400 on there, I'm paying a full 9% of that $1,400.
No, you're paying whatever the 2.75 is of the $1,400.
And what about the state share?
They get 7% of that.
7% of the 2.5.
Yeah. Yes. No, they get 7, and then we get 2.75.
That's up to 9. Now back to where I'm.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, though, you take the 14 times the 2.7, which it's not going to be the full 9, but it's going to be close to it. Yeah, you're right about that. Yes.
We'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes to discuss this some more.
Thank
you, Jeff Cole. We're going to talk about license plates. It's exciting, a lot of changes, and I ran into one the other day. We'll go to break. We'll be back.
Ryan Spitzer has been a prosecutor in Anderson County since 2007, prosecuting more than 2,500 cases over the past decade. Ryan has been the Drug Task Force prosecutor for the past 7 years. Ryan donates time working with local nonprofits. A veteran, Ryan spent 6 years serving his country as an Army medic in the National Guard. Ryan is a family man who works hard every day to keep Anderson County families safe. Experience matters.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This is my husband, Alex Hussey. Alex is about 2 weeks away from coming home.
I was point man in foot patrol, and I stopped on the bomb. Lost my legs and my left hand in an explosion.
And he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
There are so many mountains to climb, and we do it together.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
To watch Alex take on this mountain, that's what this is all about.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Alex has conquered this mountain. That's something he won't forget.
With the right support, there are no limits.
Look at that smile! You did it!
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
This has meant so much.
Thank you, DAV.
Alex Hussey, thank you for your service. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Roger Miller is a conservative and lifetime resident of Anderson County who has served as Sessions Judge since 2014. Judge Miller has adjudicated more than 30,000 cases, both civil and criminal, over the past 7 years. Roger is a graduate of Clinton High School, and he volunteers time coaching youth sports and serving as an instructor. A paramedic for 12 years, Roger worked saving lives at the Anderson County EMS, MedFlight 5, and Methodist Medical Center. In 2022, let's re-elect Roger Miller, General Sessions Judge.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or Adult Protective Services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
Okay, welcome back to Between the Lines. The Vols and Purdue have gone into overtime, 45 all. We score points. We don't stop many people. We score points.
They do score.
They score. They're good. I'm really excited about Hopple. I think he's going to be great. Josh's going to be great for Tennessee, et cetera, et cetera.
Good.
Tell us a little bit about license plate. Before you show them, tell us what's changed. I had to do the talk radio show and help out over there on Tuesday afternoon. Was it Monday?
It's Monday, I think.
That might have been. But I did it Monday or whenever, and I said Monday. That's right. And I got over there and I said, and I was talking and I did my thing, and we were talking. Somebody came in and said they'd gotten up to 1,000 license plates, and they were able to get their own or something from the state. So I guess that's why I knew that.
I'll talk about that on the back end. Let me talk about what's going to happen Monday, because this
is Monday, January 3rd. Go ahead.
Statewide, and y'all, the public's probably seen it. These are going to be the new license plates. This is the In God We Trust option. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's got the In God We Trust inscription right here. You're going to have 3 letters now and 4 numbers. You're going to get a new decal that's got the month and the year also on it. You're not going to have a decal in the upper, what is that, my left, anymore. You're just going to have the one decal, and this is the new tag. The Anderson will go down here.
Here comes the zoom. Here comes the zoom.
And that is January 3rd, which is Monday. That's better. Sorry about that. So this is the In God We Trust option. Mm-hmm. This is the other option without the In God We Trust there with the 3 stars there, middle, east, and west.
Right.
And these are the combinations, 3 letters and 4 numbers this year. Before, with the Green Mountain tags, it was 3 and 3, if you remember.
But now, it's not, you don't get to choose, do you?
No. This is what the state sends us. We're going to be in the B section here, BCP.
So when I get into the license, they'll hand me 3 letters and 4 numbers.
Yeah, and instead of, like I said, and this is for January renewal starting Monday.
I got it.
If you have this is my sister's tag. I wouldn't even let her get it early. She's had this for years. This is the new personalized. They will get new metal too. So if you got a personalized tag, we've already inventory them. If you're in Oak Ridge, we will send it down here. Matter of fact, we've already got them down here in Oak Ridge. So you'll have to come in and get this tag.
And how do you get a personalized tag?
You can go on, again, here's another online service. You can go online. They give you 3 options. You can see if it's available or not. You pay $35 online, and then they'll send you a letter, and then they'll send it to us.
Saber, look at this tag right here. These personalized tags.
They get new metal. And like I said, everybody gets new metal. We'll change out over 100,000 tags next year starting Monday.
Wow.
So it is a big
it's required
process. It is required.
Well, when it comes up.
Right. Like I said, mine expires in May. I won't get my new tag till May.
Right.
My son's in December. He's got to wait the full year.
Unless he wants to pay early.
Well, he can get a personalized, and this is my 5th changeover. Yeah. We've not changed in 14 years. Mm-hmm. We needed to change sooner, but the state dragged their feet a little bit. So in 14 years, it's time to change. In years past, we'd get 40, 50,000 plates at one time. Well, this time, we just really have enough for the first 4, 5, 6 weeks. Right. We'll have enough for January, but we ain't got a lot right now. And I hate to say COVID, but
they're behind on production.
Well, part of it's productions, part of it's getting the plates to the counties, because all 95 of us are doing it. So, and we usually sell between 4,000 and 6,000 plates a month. So we run through a lot of plates. Now let me say this before I forget it: you can still use our kiosks at Emory Valley Center.
Or Norris.
We don't have the kiosks in Norris or in Clinton. We just have it in Oak Ridge right now.
You corrected me, thank you.
But there's a $5 mail fee with this, so you'll get your receipt, and if the authorities stop you, if you've not got it yet, that will suffice that you did buy it, but you will have to pay an extra $5.
To order by kiosk.
To get it at the kiosk. Same way with the online service. That $5.
What is the normal fee for these?
It is $29.
Okay, and it's $34 if you buy it on the kiosk and order.
And about $1.50 credit card fee too. So about $35 if you do it. But I buy everything off Amazon now, so it really don't matter. Tell you a quick story about
What's Amazon got to do with it?
I was telling about the shipping and handling.
Oh, I got it.
The mail fees and stuff.
I got it. Remember, I'm old.
But you're all right. But when I was working down here, this guy come in and had all his his registration slips from 1976.
Wow.
And this was probably 95, 98 when I was working down here. And back then they were $24. When the first one he bought in 1976 was $18.75. So we've really not gone up a lot over the last 30 or 40 years. But
we live in Tennessee.
That's exactly right. Good state. So these are the things that are going to happen Monday. That's going to be different. You will not get a
So if you renew your tags Monday and
standard
they're due,
tag, you're going to get.
Now, if you any time in that month, you can go ahead and start
Exactly.
Monday. It's
Exactly.
a 30-day window, right?
Yeah.
So if you need a tag in June, you're going to get something like this, folks, and you're going to be able to choose between one of the three.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You want to talk about these others?
Yeah, let's talk about them all.
This here is the sportsman's tag. This goes to that club, I think it's called Tennessee Sportsman Club, obviously.
It has been for years.
And they get, these plates are $65 to renew. These don't get new metal. You can do these at the kiosk online just like you have been.
Right.
And the extra money, and I don't know the exact breakdown. It's usually in between $8 and $15 goes to that club.
Okay.
So I think this is one of the prettiest plates we've got, just from the standpoint of it being the Tennessee, the colors, and all that stuff. This here is
that's my plate right there. I love it.
Yes, in God We Trust, the American Eagle.
Is good
that goes to the Eagles Foundation here. Very pretty club. I love the plates and stuff. The colors of it.
That goes to the Eagles. If you're an Eagle member, okay.
It goes that. This is Choose Life.
Okay, great.
This was kind of a controversy tag. I don't know if
you
remember that.
Anything around abortion is a tag.
About 20 years ago, I guess it was. My wife has this tag. This goes to the Choose Life here in Tennessee. It's, again, all these plates are $65, and I think that's been around probably 15 years, I'd say. Elvis Presley, I couldn't come without bringing Elvis with us.
Absolutely.
This goes to his trauma center there in Memphis. We don't sell a lot of these tags. We sell a few of them, and we've got them in stock. But this is the Elvis Presley tag, and then we can't have Elvis if we don't do Dolly right here.
Absolutely, the king and queen of West and East Tennessee.
And this money here goes to her Imagination Library. Same thing, $65. We do a few of these, not a lot. The best seller in the state is the Smoky Mountain tag.
Yes.
They got on board early, and they had a better lobbyist. You like that in Nashville. Yeah. I think they get almost $20 out of that $65, so they get a good chunk of money.
And so the Veterans Dog Program that we were talking about on Monday, I don't have the name in front of me, but to get your own tag, you have to do what? If I want
for a club, you got to get 1,000 signatures committed to do it. Those first 1,000 signatures, you pay $100, not $65.
Got it.
That's the first 1,000. And it has to go to Nashville, get voted on by both House and Senate, and the artwork has to be approved by that club and the state. For years, everybody wanted a NASCAR tag. The state did their part, but NASCAR would never approve the emblem. That stuff's copyrighted, as you know.
Right.
So there's a lot of issues there to make sure that meets their standards. So I think if you don't have everything worked out, after 2 or 3 years, you have to go back and start the whole process over again. My wife's involved in the Isaiah House project here in Anderson County, and they just got their 1,000 signatures statewide. So that's hopefully for that club, they will be able to have their plate probably in another year and a half, probably.
So what about the state Democratic Party, the state Republican Party? Could they do this and raise money for their own party?
They probably could. Probably could.
It's interesting. Or anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Now, I will say this about these. We have over 200 license plates. One of the best plates that we've got is the Helping School tags, because that I think it's $20 as well, and you pick the school.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
If, public school, and if you want it to go to Oak Ridge High School, we will cut a check from our office to the Oak Ridge schools. Now it's $25. It's not a ton of money, but those in years past, we've had principals to encourage their parents there of their school, elementary school, to go do that. We don't sell a lot of those Helping School tags, but that money stays local.
I got it. All right. So
a lot of tags.
We have 200.
Over 200 by now.
Private 1,000 signature type things. The most unique one that you can think of?
Man, that's
all part of Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now we have some of the, we've got just about all the SEC schools.
Oh, okay.
We've got Penn State.
Vanderbilt has a tag.
Vanderbilt has a tag. Indiana University. And if I'm not mistaken, I think at one time we had Notre Dame, and I know that's soft to you.
That's soft to me. I'm a Notre Dame fan.
Because you love the Fighting Irish.
I grew up loving the Fighting. I love UT, but I love the Fighting Irish too.
But we got a ton of those. I quit. I've got a pretty good memory, but I quit trying to keep up with them about 10 years ago.
I need some feedback on that Notre Dame license plate.
It's just will.
And I'd say there's a donor in every zip code
Alabama,
in America.
We got Alabama,
obviously,
which is a hot seller.
Yeah, I bet it is.
We got Tennessee Titans.
I see a lot of Alabama tags and Titan tags on the thing.
Yeah. The best seller is Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, I would think so. It's
Alabama does
Graceland,
a lot.
Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a bunch of those tags. We have some art tags. We've got the Hummingbird tag. We've got just a lot.
What about historic side? The Hermitage, Andrew Johnson.
I think there's some of those in Middle and West Tennessee. We don't do a lot here in the East.
But they're on the 200 list.
Yeah. Some of them are. Yeah.
The Hermitage, things like that.
I think so. Yes.
I'm trying to think of other things that might have gone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think Chattanooga area.
Yeah.
Up north, Greenville, Johnson.
UTC. We have that one in Chattanooga.
Oh, they do colleges like Middle Tennessee and stuff like that.
Carson State's in there. Carson Newman's in there. Yeah.
Anybody with 1,000 supporters should be in there,
yeah,
right? I mean,
it's usually not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
That's fantastic. Okay, let's talk about, just because I got you here, let's talk about politics for a second, because you love politics. Are you happy with where state government's gone? Are you happy with everything, local government? I mean, what do you see? We'll get to the feds in a minute.
Like I said, we deal with the state probably more than a lot of. We all deal with it to a degree. Governor Lee's done a good job with keeping us involved. He put this plate up to a vote. That's the first, because it was our 225th anniversary.
Sure.
So he put these plates up to a vote, which I thought was a good idea.
Vote within the legislature.
Yeah, I think they didn't have a lot of citizens to vote, but the window closed. I think a little. It'd been nice if we could have voted.
How did they vote?
They voted this plate in. This was the design. Voted? The public did.
How does the public vote it in?
They did it online. They did it online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did it on Facebook, and you go online, and there was this plate, and then there was a white background tag. And I think they had about 500,000 people vote, which is not really a lot of votes. But that's what he did, which I thought was a good idea. We just didn't get a lot of participation. But, I think it's going in the right direction. I think it's going in the right direction, and I think Lieutenant Governor McNally obviously has done a great job, and he helps us all.
Yeah.
And and that's always a big plus, because when you need certain things tweaked in the law or whatnot, you can call on and again, he lives here too, so that makes it nice too.
Let's divert for a second. There are Purdue players jumping all over the field. Is the game over? What is the final? 48-45 in overtime. Purdue has upset the University of Tennessee Vols, but a great game on both sides. Both teams were missing players. Both teams had issues. They gave a great effort for their schools, and
they did.
And I'll say it again, Josh Oppel, he's just outstanding. And
I believe the boy can coach.
He's getting. He can coach the offensive side for sure.
I think he can coach.
Yeah. What did he say? What was BS?
What did you see the play?
Brad's upset about the play. He said it shouldn't have been a win.
Our forward progress was stopped when we laid the ball across the goal for a touchdown.
And we had to kick a field goal.
And they kicked the field goal.
All right, I got it.
Fourth down for us.
Oh, I see. So we went for the touchdown. All right, folks, we're off key here. We're going to break in a couple minutes, but we're going to talk a little bit more about more. It seems people are getting along in the courthouse better than they have in years.
Yeah.
I was there in some tumultuous times. What about this charter? What is that about? I don't understand. What are we going to do with the charter? Have you heard anything?
I know they meet, I think, Monday night.
Once a month they meet.
Yeah, they meet once a month.
I'm not sure they have a clue.
Well, the last I heard on it, and like I said, I've not followed that a lot.
But they got a lot of power. It's dangerous.
But they do. And I think they're in the process of trying to finalize a charter, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I know.
But you haven't heard any rumors in the courthouse or things that might change? Like we're going to make everybody drive a green card that works there or something?
No, I've not heard anything like that. And like I said, I know there's some legality work in that. And and we've had I think we've had some sickness within the charter, and they've had to reschedule some meetings and stuff.
What has changed in the last 8-10 years?
Local government-wise?
Yes. What do you see differences from 15? You've been there 20 years. You've seen a lot.
I've really been there 30.
You came in under Bowling,
the
Lynch administration, and Nowoski,
well,
and now Mayor Frank.
Just like now we have one entry into the courthouse. That don't seem like a big deal.
Let's talk about that for a second.
But
I hear a lot of complaints about that.
Well, it really affects us because we have a lot of the customers come in. One thing that helps us though is we do have the drive-through across the street.
Yes, that's true.
So that helps our elderly and the ones that are not able to get in. It's a security thing, and I mean this working with the courts. There's just a lot of threats anymore. There's a lot of issues that we have to protect our customers. We have to protect our employees. We have to protect the judges. It's just kind of a thing that's here to stay, and we're having to walk longer around the building, which I need the steps.
So if you go into Clinton, right where the Ritz is, and where Hoskins Drug, two legendary Clinton places, and the front of the courthouse is right there. You have to come in from the back.
From the back.
You've got to go around the courthouse and come in the back entry.
There,
It's on the Liner side.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Not on the Oak Ridge side, but on the north side.
And we started that right at Thanksgiving, so it's still kind of new for us. But at the end of the day, it's just a security thing. That's changed a lot. We've had a lot of retirement throughout the courthouse, and that's experience. And we've talked about this. Experience is so important to go to work day one. And you have to retrain that. You have to recalibrate that, so to speak. I think overall the biggest difference though has just been the technology pieces for all the offices.
I think so.
And that's a good thing.
And we'll talk about security in a minute on a different kind of cybersecurity. Let's take one last break, Chandler. 2 minutes, whatever you got. We're ready to break.
Roger Miller is a conservative and lifetime resident of Anderson County who has served as Sessions Judge since 2014. Judge Miller has adjudicated more than 30,000 cases, both civil and criminal, over the past 7 years. Roger is a graduate of Clinton High School, and he volunteers time coaching youth sports and serving as an instructor. A paramedic for 12 years, Roger worked saving lives at the Anderson County EMS, MedFlight 5, and Methodist Medical Center. In 2022, let's re-elect Roger Miller, General Sessions Judge.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
DEPR.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or adult protective services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
Ryan Spitzer has been a prosecutor in Anderson County since 2007, prosecuting more than 2,500 cases over the past decade. Ryan has been the Drug Task Force prosecutor for the past 7 years. Ryan donates time working with local nonprofits. A veteran, Ryan spent 6 years serving his country as an Army medic in the National Guard. Ryan is a family man who works hard every day to keep Anderson County families safe. Experience matters.
Welcome back to Between the Lines. We've done an investigation. We've looked at the Tennessee film. We've looked at still pictures. Tennessee was robbed. He was not on the ground. His legs were straight. The ball was over the line. No excuse. They may have won or lost after that, but Tennessee scored a touchdown in overtime, right?
I agree.
You with me?
I agree. I saw it too, yeah.
Everybody else in the room agrees. So it's sad. It's a bowl game.
Yeah,
it's a bowl game. And it's the Music City Bowl. But, boy, they got their money's worth down there. Great game.
Hey, good ball game.
5-hour
good
game.
Ball game.
It was
Listen,
5 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time, though.
Well, when you had offense last year of none, and now you're scoring 40, 50 points a game, it's a big difference. All
right, so we got a courthouse situation. We got elections coming up. We've got a new scenario. You know, we say, well, there won't be, it doesn't look like there's going to be an overly competitive sheriff's race at this point. They always dive in at the last minute. But Sheriff Barker it would be in a primary May 3rd, as would others, judicial figures. But sheriffs and mayors drive races. And the mayor and the sheriff seem to be pretty safe at this point, you know, 51 days to go. So here's the question. So that breeds low turnout. You think that the primaries for commission and school board in the neighborhoods could drive the vote back up again?
Well,
that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Well, I just assume it would. I mean, you know, I don't. You know, when you have more people on the ballot, obviously you're going to have more. Those people's going to come out and vote.
But if you have less than 2 in a district, it's a pass through.
It can be. I see that argument too.
People will be confused.
I think so, and I
hate to cut you off, but what we're saying is the Tennessee Republican Party on the state level made rules that now on all school board races, pretty much, and because they're Tennessee funded, and now like Oak Ridge City Council wouldn't be a part of this, or Clinton, because they're charter communities. But if you're going to run for school board in Anderson County, you have to declare as a Republican, Democrat, or Independent now. So on the ballot, it'll say what you are. The Republicans push this to get a primary. I think others have to fall in line, right? Mm-hmm. They have to file their petitions on time too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, everybody. Yeah. Everybody.
In a county, we're talking in a county that's predominantly Republican at this point. We're a red state. We're 60% Republican, 65% Republican. Do you see many commissioners coming out and running as Democrats? Just generally, not names.
No, I don't. No, well, I mean,
stay as independent.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think they're going to stay the independent side,
mm-hmm.
And again, this took place November, I think it was, in the Republican meeting, I think.
Yeah, in our county we opted in. It was pretty quick.
I was at the meeting, but
yes.
And that's and I think you said it Monday when you were on the radio. This is kind of uncharted water.
That's
we're trying to learn from it. And
that's correct.
And those numbers, I will be interested that night, like we all will, with the numbers to see if the turnout's more.
May 3rd?
Because I do agree with you. I think it could be just kind of a wash, but...
Last time it was 9,000 votes plus.
Which that was a big Republican primary.
I'm projecting 7,500 votes. It could
be low.
August will go 10 to 12, 10 or 11. But 7,500 wouldn't be overly low. 5,500 would be. But there's too much. You don't get 5,500 in judicial races.
Right.
There's just too many.
Yeah.
Even if we know we're going to have a competitive sessions judge or 2 sessions judges. It looks like now I'm hearing. And then we all, and after that, we've got other judges or other places that could be run. So you don't really know. I mean, you don't know to the last minute. A lot harder there to find qualified people because it requires a law degree and some experience. Having I guess we may have a road superintendent race for the first time in 20 years, so that could drive some votes, and there could be some other votes. So I look forward to what people don't understand. I've been in the business a long time. Is you go to Thanksgiving. Well, we got to get through Christmas. You get to Christmas, you get through it. You get out of the gate slow. It's January 10th, and you know what's happened? 2 weeks from now, you know what's happened? We're less than 90 days from early voting, and they're not ready.
That's changed it a lot with early voting, and I know me and you talked about this a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I think the COVID factor, as far as where you put your resources, how do you, I love going door to door, and do you do as much door to door?
Well, I'll tell you this, and Bill Haggerty Bill Haggerty and in Knoxville, they did it this summer. They're knocking on thousands of doors.
Yeah.
Nobody's complaining.
Right.
Nobody's complaining. Right. Now, they knock on friendly doors usually. If it's a Republican primary, you get your Republicans out to vote or whatever. But I mean, people...
And I don't know. I just throw that out there because...
But you know what happened? It turned out the other way. A higher percentage of doors were answered because people are home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
For
agree
COVID
with
rather
that.
than that.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I
it
can
was
see
kind
that.
of different. It
Yeah.
flipped. It was different than when I looked at the numbers for 3 municipal areas.
Well, you know this also too. The money factor, unfortunately or fortunate, of however side you fall on, is you've got there's nothing cheap anymore. Signs, literature, whatever the case may be, and it's a big investment. It's definitely a big investment.
Well, the question comes down to, and obviously I probably have as much research and information as anybody in the greater Knoxville, but I do a lot of work in polling and stuff. But the question is, how do the age demographics break? Typically, the smaller the election, the older the vote per year. In other words, the average age of a person voting in May is probably 65, 67 average. And then in August it falls to 61. And by November, you're down in the mid-50s.
Right.
There are some exceptions. Campbell County votes younger, which I don't really understand that, but I mean, there's some counties that vote younger. But seniors have that allegiance to vote. They have that dedication to vote. It's almost a social event. Your mother worked the polls for years.
Oh, yeah. She worked the phones, the polls, the whole
it was
kit
the
and
old
caboodle.
school, like when we started. And I'm old enough that, I can remember running races in college in the late 70s. But those days you had poll workers, you had everything organized. Now you send out 5,000 Facebook messages.
Especially the local side of it is also, do you touch them? And that's what I love so much about my job.
And when he says touch them, he don't mean COVID. He means, we call touches contacts. In other words, one mailer, one TV commercial, one visit the door. How many touches can you get in local politics?
And
county fairs? And,
being able to still work the counter, work the drive-through and stuff, helping them get their needs met. That's, like today, I was working on a marriage certificate. I was working on a driver's, I was working 4 or 5 different things.
Sure.
And that's what I like to do.
Sure.
And you need, like I said, that's why we're here for. If you can't help the people, then, you'll need to be there.
And personally, it wouldn't bother me a bit. I'm a political person, but it wouldn't bother me a bit if the Register of Deeds, the clerk, you guys don't make legislation. You don't do advocacy. So I'm not sure the political factor matters here. Is he doing a good job, Republican or Democrat? I think it's different. Whereas if you're a legislator or you make policy or you spend money or you authorize money, commission, I can see. That's ironic, isn't it? Another thing, state reps, of course, and congressmen. But I don't know if a road superintendent's politics really matter, I don't know. I've wondered for 40 years. But I understand you still got to have money and things to get your message out. So being a member of an organization helps you. And we got to do as much as we can for our seniors. We got to do as much as we can.
No doubt.
I mean, that's our group. I mean, we had a wonderful Christmas dinner, didn't we?
We did. We had a good time.
We had a lot of people there.
We had a real good time. I enjoyed it.
Did you go to the Oak Ridge Senior
I did.
I didn't get to that one.
I did.
Out.
Yeah,
they had about 100, didn't they? Yeah.
I think more like 150 or so.
Wow.
Yeah, they was a good crowd. Well, I helped serve the drinks and stuff, and did some of the door prizes and things like that. And all of those staff on both sides, the county, they work tirelessly on that, and they do it. I mean, you can't thank them enough the hard work they do.
Take the last 2 minutes. Tell us what you do for seniors. Seniors get discounts. Seniors get extras.
They do their tax freezes upstairs with Regina.
Regina.
Yeah, with our trustee.
Yeah.
We do the biggest thing is the drive-through. I've had more compliments through the years on that.
I think so.
Because that gives them, my dad was a bad diabetic. He couldn't get out much, but when he did, he used every drive-through he could.
Oh, me too.
And that is, that is probably the biggest plus that we've got. All the stuff's online too. They can print stuff out and take to their doctor, or the doctor can pull it up for them.
You've been very helpful over the years.
So, we've, just again, the technology pieces during COVID, we did the curbside if they needed to do something a little bit more.
I've worked in a lot of counties.
So it's been huge.
From Hamilton to the north, from Nashville to here. I've worked in a lot of counties, and I know no county clerk that does as much as you do for us.
I appreciate
people.
That's very kind of you.
And
I appreciate that.
I wouldn't say some people that I know very well that I can't say that about. But you've gone overboard with a lot.
I'll say this real to brag on my mama. She worked in the office before she got too sick, and then I was.
He wasn't there at that time, right?
I wasn't there, but she told me. She said, if you ever do run, you take care of the people.
That's right.
And that's kind of been one of my mantras right there. So.
And you have a chance to get out and really do stuff with the people. We want to thank everybody for watching. One more time, Judge Roger Miller, Judge Ryan Spitzer and Judge Brian Hunt, thank you for your sponsorships of this show. You've done a great job, and good luck to all of you this spring. You good?
I'm good.